Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And this is Reina. Say hi. Her kind of like jacket is, she's wearing a toga. Say hi. But anyways, this is my performance review of the Nike Kyrie Flytrap 5. It's going for 90 bucks. So Kyrie has the Flytrap line, he's got the low line, and also he has his signature shoe line. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but let's get started right off with the Tracciones. So the traction on a clean court is actually very good. You know, super good stop, very loud, high-pitched squeak as well. So if you're playing on a clean court, you should be good. It does get a little bad on dust though, right? So it picks up dust pretty damn quickly, but it is pretty easy to wipe off. You know, just like a wipe or two, you know, pretty light wipes and you should be good to go. But when I was trying to do like very hard stops, like on a dusty court, I would slide out, as you guys can see in this footage. When I was filming the kind of like traction test, I was playing on a pretty dusty court. It's just a 24-hour fitness court and it's usually super dirty, so I was sliding out pretty like a decent amount. As you guys can see, I was sliding out like a couple of inches, and that's even after I try to wipe. So if you're playing on a dusty court and you're doing like that really hard lateral movement or step back or crossover or whatever, you will slide out, which definitely does suck. But I really had no issues when I was playing on a clean court, so just watch out for that. If you're kind of like playing and you're doing like pretty hard stops, I really had no issues with that and sliding out. It's just the really hard stops that I had an issue with. So that kind of sucks, you know, because Kyries are supposed to have good traction. You know what I mean? But anyways, like, it wasn't terrible though. It's just a little bit of a slide out. It wasn't super dangerous. And like I said, it only happened when it was like really dirty. As far as the durability goes, I feel like durability would be very good. The grooves are super thick, very deep, and also the rubber is hard. You know, when they're trying to like move it with my finger, it doesn't really move. So I feel like durability will be good. And also it's a $90 shoe. So you should be fine if you're gonna play outdoors in the Kyrie Flytrap 5. Alright, as far as the heel to toe transition goes, it's overall pretty damn smooth. So here in the heel, we got a nice curved shape and pretty much a fully exposed midsole. So it doesn't feel clunky really at all here in the heel, especially when you're striking your heel down, when you're doing heel dominant strides. And also here in the forefoot, we got a nice curved shape as well. Look at that, super curved, and we have a lot of, I guess, midfoot flex. The forefoot doesn't flex as much. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the shape of the outsole, because like Kyries usually don't flex a lot or like a whole lot in the forefoot, but not a huge deal because this shape is just so crazy that I really had no issues with heel to toe transition. So overall, very smooth, very fluid, and also I really like the addition of the outsole curvature, which of course is a staple in Kyrie's line. I really like how they keep it in like the Kyrie low line as well as the Kyrie Flytrap line. So when you're doing like crossovers and doing these types of movements, you have extra grip here on the sides of the medial wall here in the forefoot. And also this shape definitely does help keep you on your toes like this. So if you've tried a Kyrie, you'll definitely like the feeling of the Kyrie Flytrap 5. Alright, moving on to the cushioning setup. So we got full length Phylon, which is super not nice. So here in the heel, there is a little bit of compression. It is kind of soft when you get it at first, but it does bottom out. So yeah, don't expect too much. When you first get it, you're like, oh, it's kind of nice. You know, and that's exactly how I felt. But then once you keep playing it, it's like, oh, the heel's kind of dead now. So that kind of sucked. And there is a forefoot zoom unit. It feels like it's top loaded, but it also feels like that thinner rectangular unit. So it is definitely a lot smaller than, I guess, like the surface area of like the PG3 or like the Y-Not 0.4 zoom unit. But it's still pretty damn nice. You know, like I said, it feels top loaded, so I can definitely feel that bounce that you get from zoom units and also that little bit of compression as well. The overall cushioning setup though is more just responsive. You know, if you're looking for good impact protection, especially on heel strikes, it's not the best. But if you're looking for something low to the ground and responsive, this definitely is a great option. But if you're looking for something like super bouncy or super soft or even like comfortable at all, then this definitely is not the cushioning setup for you. But for me personally, you know, I don't really mind it. And I also did like that forefoot zoom unit. It just gives you that extra little bounce. Alright, moving on to the material. So we got pretty much shit mesh here in the toe box. As far as the quality of the material goes, it's pretty bad. I mean, it is a $90 shoe, so you can't really complain, but I mean, give us a textile, you know, give us a jacquard, you know. Nike and Adidas have given us nice materials for super cheap before. Why can't they do it in this shoe, you know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, it's a mesh material. We have a little bit of fuse here around the toe box for extra added durability. And then here in the midfoot, we have a little bit more fuse, especially with these stripes. As you guys can see, it's on the medial and also on the lateral side. Here in the midfoot though, we have a very thin material. It's pretty much like a plastic material. It's see-through. You guys can see my fingers through it. It's extremely thin, although it is a little flimsy. I don't know if you guys can hear. So like it definitely does feel cheap, but I do like how thin it is. And as far as the tongue goes, the tongue has very minimal padding, like pretty much no padding. It is a half booty construction tongue though, which does improve the fit. And then here in the ankle area, we have very little padding as well, like super minimal on the sides of the ankle as well as here in the back of the ankle, like very minimal padding. So if you're looking for a material that is quality, then obviously this is not the shoe to get. But on foot, it doesn't feel bad. You know, it is a very thin material, especially here in the toe box, here in the midfoot, and also here in the ankle area. So if you're looking for something super minimal and very thin, then this shoe is really good. As far as the fit goes, I went true to size and it fits me very well. I would say fits pretty much the exact same as the Kyrie Flytrap 4. I mean, it's pretty much using the same exact outsole and like shape of the Kyrie Flytrap 4. So personally for me, it was really good, true to size. My toes pretty much go right to the edge of the shoe. The toe box is a little snug. This mesh material definitely does stretch out over time. So that definitely does suck because I don't really like to have a roomy toe box. So I can curl my toes up a little bit inside of the shoe. I'm not saying it's super roomy and super uncomfortable. I just wish it was a little bit tighter. And as far as the width goes, I would say it's slightly narrow. So overall fit for me, I enjoyed it. I really had no issues. But like I said, me nitpicking, I wish it was a little bit more snug here in the toe box. As far as the support and lockdown goes, I really had no issues. So for lateral containment, this fuse material is pretty support. I mean, it's a very thin material and it moves pretty easily, but the rubber does come up to act as a cage or a sidewall. I mean, Kyrie's have never had an issue with lateral containment. So I mean, why start with the Kyrie Flytrap 5, right? So here in the forefoot, we're good. Also here in the heel, the foam does come up a little bit and there is an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I was good. As far as lateral stability goes, you would think that it wouldn't be good because there's really no outrigger, and also the shape of the outsole is like pretty rounded. Not only on the medial side, but also on the lateral side of the shoe. But for some reason, I really had no issues. Maybe it's because of this shape here on the medial side. So like, it's just keeping me on my toes a little bit more on this side of the shoe. So maybe that's helping with the lateral stability. I don't know what it is, but personally for me, when I was playing in it, I had no issues with lateral stability. It was actually very good. And as you guys can see, it pretty much is a low cut shoe, so you're not gonna really get any ankle support. But like I said, I really had no issues with support or lockdown. Also, as far as the lacing system goes, as you guys can see, it's a pretty cool lacing system. So these straps go all the way into the material here and then come out acting as an eyelet for these two and also for these two eyelets. So when you tighten the laces, it kind of tightens these straps on top of your foot. But like, to be honest, I don't really feel it all too much, just because when you tighten the laces anyway, you feel the laces tightening up on top of your foot anyway. You know what I mean? So like, I didn't really feel any type of extra containment or tightening from these straps, unfortunately. Maybe a little bit, just a tiny bit, but I didn't really feel like it was a very significant change in the lockdown. So I guess it does look cool. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. It's probably pretty damn light. Budget shoes are usually very light just because of the lack of tech, right? So I'm guessing like 11 ounces, 11 ounces. So yeah, 10.58 ounces, super light. Let's check the left pair. 10.76 ounces. So there is a little bit of a difference in the left and right pair, like 0.1, 0.2 ounces. Not a huge deal. That's pretty normal. So does this shoe feel responsive? Yes, it feels extremely responsive. If you're playing on a clean court, traction is really good. Cushion is super responsive. You get that extra little bounce in the forefoot. Support was very good. The material is super thin. It's a very lightweight shoe. So when you're playing on a clean court, you feel super quick and very responsive. If you're playing on a dusty court, not as much. You know, like I found myself when I was trying to do a very hard step back, I would slide out. And especially over taller dudes, You know, I'm pretty short. I'm like 5'9", 5'10". So like guys that are like 6'2", I definitely need that extra little space. But when I slide out a little bit, I definitely do notice myself not stepping back as far as I would like. So that definitely did hinder my playstyle a little bit when I was playing on a more dirty court. But when I was playing on a clean court, it was very pleasant to play in. Alright, as far as the ventilation goes, ventilation is really good. As you guys can see, there is a lot of ventilation holes through this mesh material. Although there is an underlaying material, it's super thin and it allows for a good amount of airflow. So that keeps your foot pretty cool, and also, like I said, this material is super thin, so it doesn't really keep in heat. So the ventilation of the Kyrie Flytrap 5 is actually pretty damn good. Alright, as far as the aesthetics go, I like it. This colorway is pretty cool. I don't really like the lines. I definitely wish they would have not added the lines here in the fuse. But other than that, I do like the overall silhouette of the shoe. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the Kyrie Flytrap 5, pretty good performer. Like I said, I usually play on a dusty court, so it was annoying when I was really trying to play. And like I said, I am a smaller guy and I do use my speed to my advantage usually in my game. So I definitely did notice that. But when I was playing on a clean court, I did enjoy it a good amount. So if you're playing on a clean court, I would definitely 100% recommend it. If you're playing on a dusty court, like I said, it's not terrible. That slide out isn't terrible, but if you need total responsiveness from your shoe, then this probably isn't the best option. So anyways, that about concludes my review of the Nike Kyrie Flytrap 5. It's $90. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.